Hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. My wife, 3 years, possibly cheated with her boss again. Me, 32 male, and wife, 30 female, have been married for 3 years, together for 5 years. We live in Colombo, Sri Lanka at the moment. My wife's boss is 36, married with 2 kids. So the story starts with her cheating on me with her boss when we were having the relationship. I caught her going to a hotel room with her boss. One of my friends works there, and he took photos of them. I immediately confronted her, and she denied it, saying I'm crazy. Then I showed the photos, and she finally admitted to cheating. This happened when we were having the relationship for around a year. I immediately broke up with her and blocked her number, social media, etc. But after 2 weeks, she came to see me and was begging to start a relationship. She said it was a mistake. She wasn't thinking straight, and she was stressed with her work and said everyone deserves a second chance. So, I was dumb enough to give her a second chance and started the relationship again. But I set up some rules like checking her phone whenever I want, keeping an eye on her, and asked to stop all chatting and calls with her boss unless it is work related. She agreed, and everything went well. We got married in 2019, and everything was so perfect until last year, December. Last year, December, my wife got a promotion at work, and she said she wants to give her boss a dinner treat for that. We argued a lot about this, and she blamed me for my insecurity, and she said that I should trust her because I didn't see any suspicious activity so far after the first time of cheating back in 2018. So she organized the dinner in one of the most luxury hotels here. Mostly, people go there for romantic dinners, to propose, etc. And it was a candlelight dinner, and I said I'm not feeling comfortable with that. She again blamed me, I'm full of insecurity, and promised me nothing will happen. She took a day off from work on that dinner treat day, and went to a salon in the afternoon to do her eyebrows and a facial. She usually does this before a wedding or any special party, so at this point, I felt something is going on. And she selected a more open and revealing dress. But I didn't argue too much about that because she already blamed me several times saying I'm insecure. She went to the dinner, and I asked to get back by 10 p.m. She wasn't home by 10, so I decided to call her, and she did not answer the phone. I called her several times, and she didn't answer the phone. She returned back at 2 a.m. I was so mad and asked why she didn't answer the phone, what took so long, etc. in a very angry way. She very calmly said, "Don't freak out. We went for a walk after the dinner and just had a friendly talk." I didn't believe it for a second, but couldn't do anything about it either. So I just slid it past. This year, January, my wife said she had to go to Maldives with her boss for a business meeting with a potential client and said she has to stay there for 5 days. I went crazy as soon as I heard this, and we started fighting. She started to blame me again, saying I'm full of insecurity and I'm crazy, that I don't have a proper social life. I've been working from home since the pandemic started. She went on the business trip and everything felt okay for the first 3 days. At least I felt okay, not sure about what happened there. But after the day 3, I didn't get any calls from her or couldn't call her. It said that she is out of the coverage area. At this point, I lost all faith in my wife and knew something is probably going on. After she returned, I asked what happened after day 3, and she said that the client had a private resort in a separate island, and he invited them there, and she said there's no reception on that island. I asked more details about this resort and island, and she said she doesn't remember anything because the client organized everything and they just got on a boat and went there. Sorry for all the long paragraphs. I just want to give the full context here. My mind is seriously effed up right now because my gut says something is going on, but I don't have any solid evidence. Any tips or ideas or suggestions are highly appreciated. Thank you. Update. Finally decided to go for divorce. My wife of 3 years cheated with her boss. Hi guys, this is a follow-up post from my previous post since you guys were asking for an update. So the day before yesterday, I took 1 week off from work and booked a hotel for 4 days and left home with a letter to her. In the letter I said that I know you are effing your boss again, and I know everything happened at the dinner and the 5 days business trip. Actually I don't. And some stuff, and that I have decided to go for a divorce. Also, I gave her 4 days to pack her stuff and go find a new place for her. I switched off my phone when I left the home because I didn't want her to bother me with her endless calls while driving. I went to the hotel, checked in, switched on my phone, and bang! 13 missed calls and messages were flooding. I just scrolled the messages, had a look, and didn't reply. She called me sometime after. I answered and she was crying, saying sorry for what she did and told me we can still fix this. I'm tired after a long drive and not in the mood to talk, so I asked her to call tomorrow and hang up the phone. She asked for the hotel I'm at so she can come and talk to me in person, but I said, I don't want to see you. She called me again yesterday, and we talked for like 2 hours. I asked her, "Do you admit to cheating with your boss?" And her answer was, "I can explain everything. Please let me see you and explain everything." And I asked, "Did you F your boss on that dinner date?" And again, her answer was the same. This went on for several other questions I asked, and I got mad and yelled at her, "Come on, for once, at least be honest and answer my effing questions." Then she said it all happened last December. She wanted to get the promotion, so she had a deal with her boss. She gets the promotion and her boss gets to screw her once. And she promised nothing happened from 2018 up to last December. They both took a day off last December, before the dinner date, and screwed the whole day. She also said that they decided to end it and not mess up after, but accidentally had sex on the dinner date as well. And the BS business trip was just for 2 days. They had extended it by 3 days to spend time together. And she says that she's ready to sacrifice anything to save our marriage and will go no contact with her boss and quit her job. She said she doesn't love him or anything. She just wanted to have some fun and that's all. And said that she was planning to have kids this year and so she won't be able to have fun again like that. So decided to play a little bit before that, etc. And she said that if I'm mad about her Maldives trip with her boss and to fix everything, let's go to the Maldives next week. It's really close to here in just a 2-hour cheap flight. I immediately said no, because I know if I go on this trip with her, I would probably change the decision. She said several times that she is ready to do whatever it takes to save our marriage. So I'm pretty solid with my decision to divorce her. But still, a part of my heart loves her. I know you guys get probably mad at me for that. Last time called me cuckold, lesbian, dormant guy, etc. But I really effing loved her a lot. It's not easy to wipe out the feelings and love I had for her in all these years. And a big thanks to all the guys who commented and helped me. Our first comment comes from RareFig865. You should tell the boss's wife if he has one. Also, report it to HR. Edit. Wait, she slept with him for a better job and now wants to quit? You're 100% make the correct decision. Scary Inspector 8315 says, the problem is not loving her. The problem is having no self-love at all and accept the BS she puts because of love. Her desire to have fun should have ended when you guys got engaged. There's absolutely no excuse for what she did at all. Nothing to salvage as well. She can't un-F herself. The level of disrespect is too much. Please just walk away from this prostitute whore of a wife you got yourself with. You can move on from this love in the future. Tell the HR. Edit. It's honestly disgusting how she offered to take you to the same city she went with her boss. She had to do a redo. Damn, this woman is seriously disgusting. M93NYC says, she said she didn't love him but took a day off to screw. The 2-day trip became 5 for them to hook up, and once you found out she wants to quit the promotion, stand up for yourself and leave the broad before crap really hits the fan. Mike H1971 says, my friend, this is what happens when you marry someone you previously caught cheating. She will cheat on you again and again and again. I would damn sure report that bastard to HR and tell them my wife confessed to me she was told if she slept with him, she'd get a promotion. His butt is grass at this point. On to the next adventure. I let Wayward Husband take over responsibility for our finances a few months ago, and all of our accounts have been wiped out. This is my first post, and my story is kind of all over the place, so bear with me. My wayward husband, 40 male, and I, 36 female, have been together for 16 years, married for 14, and we have 4 children together ranging in age from 3 to 13. D-Day was 9 months ago, when I caught Wayward Husband texting his affair partner. Some trickle truth happened over the next several days, and I found out that their relationship had been going on for over 2 years, and he had been seeing 2 additional affair partners on the side. He's been trying really hard to make reconciliation possible since then, and seems to be doing all the right things. We've had a few small setbacks here and there, but overall, we were headed in the right direction. Obviously, one of our big goals was getting back even a tiny bit of trust that has been shattered, and we have had numerous conversations about how hard it has been to have completely lost my sense of safety and security in our marriage. I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety and depression since D-Day, and he wanted to know how to help. So I asked him if he could take one of my biggest stressors off my plate so that I could have one less thing to worry about throughout this process. I asked him to take over keeping up with our finances and bills, and he happily agreed, seemingly excited that I was trusting him with something so important. I have been in charge of our finances for the past decade of our relationship. Wayward Husband is the primary breadwinner in our home, and I work a small part-time job and have been caring for our children. When we first got married and he was in charge of our finances, he was horrible at it. incredibly unorganized and careless. We ended up falling behind on all of our bills, and it was a disaster. I took over, cleaned things up, and everything has been fine since then. I was reluctant to ask him to take it over again because of how horrible it was last time I trusted him with it, but we were young and I assumed he was much more capable now. Oh boy, I could not have been more wrong. I went to the grocery store today for just a few necessities. The total was less than $30. When I went to check out, my debit card was declined. Super unusual, but sometimes I have trouble with the chip reader on that card, so I got on my credit card instead, which is really just for emergencies, and I rarely use. It was also declined. When I got home and asked him if something was wrong with our accounts, the truth came out. It's all gone. Every last cent. Our checking account is empty. Our credit cards are maxed out. Our entire savings account that I have been trying to build over the past decade is completely empty. Every single cent either of us had is just gone, all because of his carelessness. We have 4 children to feed, and literally the only money we have right now is the $18 cash I currently have in my wallet. It's all freaking gone, and I'm left feeling like the biggest idiot in the entire world to have trusted this man who has proven himself to be completely untrustworthy with something this important. The crazy part is, he took me car shopping last week because my car had been acting up and he suggested that maybe it's time to trade it in for something better. He was talking about trying to stay around a budget of $400 a month for the payments. How did he think we were going to pay for that? And just 2 days ago, he was asking me where we should plan our summer vacation with the kids this year. How did he think that was going to be possible? I truly don't know where to go from here. I love him so much, and I was so desperately hoping that we could rebuild the trust we lost. But I just don't see how that's possible. My question is, what now? What do people do in this kind of situation? I know the shock of this hasn't worn off yet, but I'm completely baffled and so lost. I obviously can't afford to leave. Less than 10 hours ago, I thought we were totally financially secure. I certainly would not have called us wealthy, but I genuinely thought we were comfortable, with a fairly decent savings account to back us up in case anything crazy ever happened. But I apparently can't even afford to buy my kids Valentines to share at their class parties this week, much less afford a lawyer and a divorce. I have never felt so scared and so hopeless before. Our first reaction comes from D-Save. I cannot believe it was carelessness. That would explain late payments, not maxed credit cards, and empty savings. What did he spend it on? DOP replies, his current explanation is that it all just got absorbed into our daily expenses, that he wasn't being careful to track what was being spent, and every time he would end up short when it came time to pay the bills, he would just move money from our savings to cover it. I haven't sat down to comb through everything yet to see if that is even remotely true, but I honestly can't imagine what else he would have spent it on. Although, I honestly did not ever imagine that he was cheating for 2 solid years, so I guess I can't exactly trust my own instincts. D-Save replies again, you know what your expenses were and his income was. You know that there was not any explanation, but that he had been spending on something unaccounted for, gambling, drugs, or the affair partner. Our next reaction from Animal7239. When my father cheated on my mom, he pretended to reconcile for 3 years, during which he slowly took charge of all accounts, estranged all real estate my parents had, such that when he handed her divorce papers, there was absolutely nothing left to split. He never once made her feel that she was not the priority. He did everything he asked to reconcile. I'm sure this doesn't happen to everyone, but my mom is hardly alone. So, I don't know. Be aware of spectrum of possibilities. For all you know, he might be piling it up somewhere you don't know about. But to do this process without tracing it back to a hidden account, he needs time and access to all accounts. Our next thought is from Reasonable Doubt 59. Smoke and mirrors. That's what wayward husband has been doing for you. He lied while he pigeonholed every last resource and robbed you blind. Get the statements and follow the transactions. I doubt reconciliation was ever his motivation. Lawyer up. Search for assistance online and go scorched earth. The lawyer will start back 6 months, and only regular expenditures will be counted. Any other is evidence of wrongdoing. You could wind up with no debt and half the 15 G's back. Good luck. Wayward husband is a crap bag. We have a thought from Kim's strong heart. He may be squirreling it into a separate account for a variety of reasons. 1. To control you so you are trapped in a relationship. 2. To have it all if he decides to leave you. 3. Maybe he has spent it all, but not on you. 4. So you aren't able to afford a lawyer in a divorce. 5. An affair partner's pregnancy. The list goes on. And I don't think he isn't smart enough to do any of the above. Apparently, he has had at least 3 other women to plant ideas in his head. Do as advised and block all your credit so he can't use your name for anything. Cancel all cards already in your name. Take back control of your finances. Try to get a low-interest loan to pay the credit card debt and go from there. And start a separate account of your own and put money in it from every check, just in case he has a plan. And hide your social security number and birth certificate, or have a trusted relative hold them. Chances are he hasn't written your social security number down. Do not let him have it. Get rid of anything that you have that it may be on. I speak from experience. My prayers are with you. We have a plan of attack from X Nihilo 0. That's terrible. Here are a few concrete steps that you can take. 1. If you have a mortgage, ask for COVID relief. My lender was more than happy to enroll me when I had financial problems. 2. Ask for forbearance on student loans. 3. Go to this website and run a report for every member of your family. Freeze everyone's credit via the reporting bureaus. 4. Shut off all of your credit cards. Don't close them or cancel them. Most companies allow you to freeze the credit cards temporarily. 5. Contact all other creditors, credit card companies, car loans, personal loans, etc. Ask for your options. 6. Contact your utility companies and ask for assistance. 7. Immediate financial diet. Sorry, this will be painful. Turn off all subscription services like Hulu, Disney Plus, etc., or change to lower tiers. Switch plans on your cell phones. Downgrade to internet only with a cable company. Cut as many expenses as you can. Tell yourself, it'll only be temporary. 8. Not the best option, but look into hardship withdrawal from a retirement plan. Similarly, personal loan if you still have the credit. Both are less than ideal, but in an emergency. 9. Go to a food bank, your church, private charities, for as many daily supplies as you can get. Food, toiletries, etc. 10. When your husband least expects it, give him a sucker slap. Pull your arm back as far as it will go and just open hand smack him across the face. Just once. To get out your frustration. Tell him he deserves 10 more, but you're feeling lenient. The OP replies, Number 10 is my favorite. Thank you for all of this. It's been very hard to think straight. And all I can think about is what an impossible crapstorm everything is. So this is massively helpful. One more thought from CLS-CLGS. It is obvious he couldn't handle the responsibility. He isn't qualified to handle money. Take back the responsibility, give him the chore of keeping the house clean, teach him to do laundry, pick up all the minor tasks. When I was married, my late wife couldn't handle money to save her life. Grocery shopping was an exercise in stupidity. Some people just can't do it. Tell him to get a part-time job on top of the job he has until the debts are paid. He has to realize that there are consequences to his poor money handling. I would also look at your bank statements to see how he spent the money. I don't want you to find an even bigger problem, but you have to be sure. I hope it all works out for you. Good luck. The next story goes like this. 4 years later, my ex-husband's affair partner makes me very uncomfortable. Not sure if this is the place for this, but wondering if any of you have been in this position. 2017 was D-Day when I found out my husband, high school sweetheart, father of my child, was cheating on me with a coworker. She was freshly 18. This likely started when she was just 17, which is a whole other level of yuck. Obviously, I do not care for the girl. She knew he was married and did not care. It was justified to her because he told her we were separating. That was news to me. Regardless, I kicked him out. He moved in with her immediately, and soon enough, she got pregnant. Fast forward to now. Their kid is 3. They are still together, dating and living together, but polyamorous. I still do not like her. She oversteps her role in my son's life. However, I realize there isn't much I can do about that. However, I've noticed she seems to be almost disturbingly obsessed with me. If I color my hair, she colors hers the same. I got a tattoo on my wrist, she got the same thing on her leg. I went to school and got into a very niche trade. She's now doing the same thing and asked me to put in a good word for her at my job. She tries to talk to my brothers on Facebook. She knows where my parents live and their names and talks to my son about them like she knows them. Has never met them. I'm not that close with them. My ex was not that close with them. It's honestly unsettling. I am amicable with my ex for my son's sake. I wish there was some way I did not have to interact with her. Unfortunately, he sends her to pick up our son when it's his week with him. She answers the door and talks my ear off when it's my week to pick him up. She goes to every school meeting and sits at the table with me and the teacher while my son's dad is in the hallway tending to their 3-year-old. I have put up with it to not rock the boat and remain amicable, but she genuinely freaks me out and I don't feel it's fair to have to deal with the homewrecker this often. Talking to my ex about this gets me nowhere. He basically says, she's in my life forever, so deal with it. The first bit of advice comes from Gold Establishment 24. Yikes, that's nuts. You should set some hard boundaries. You are going way beyond being amicable. Honestly, I could never imagine myself doing what you're doing. I can't tell if you're a saint or a masochist. The OP replies, I honestly just don't know how to handle it. I can't prevent my ex from bringing her to school meetings and such. If I tell him he needs to pick our kid up instead of her, he says he can't because of work or some other excuse. Cash Money Millie has the next thought. Yeah, technically she isn't even an emergency contact, can't make medical decisions, etc. She isn't a parent, she's the spouse of a parent. Why she's even going to meetings and why your husband is copping out is strange to me. I wouldn't deal with it, and I would tell her straight up she's bothering me and I find it an invasion of my space and privacy and parenting privileges. She has her own kid. Love that she wants to be involved with yours, but you shouldn't have to share in motherhood. That's your right, and she can't take that from you. It's your experiences and relationship with school and decision making. She needs to stay in her lane. Also, I would flat out tell her it's concerning that she is emulating and trying to infiltrate every facet of your life. It makes everyone uncomfortable, and it's unwelcomed. For no other reason than that you said so. You want your privacy and experiences in life to be yours without having to put up walls. Sorry, not sorry. Ugh. This is so cringe for you. I hope it gets better. I wouldn't be as polite or tolerant at all. The next thought comes from Laudy Miss Claudie 3. That's so intense and uncomfortable. Have you ever spoken directly to her about it? The OP replies, kind of. I've spoken to her about things relating to my son. She did things that were 100% not okay with me, such as spanking him, having him call her mom, and call me by my first name instead. She denied these things, but it came directly from my son, who I believe. He's 8 and very open and honest with me. And lastly, to round things out from Boho Birdie. I don't have the answers, but you're not alone. My NX is married to his mistress, and now she's the same exact way. Thought I had her blocked everywhere when she found me on Pinterest, Yelp, and Goodreads. Gives my son the same gifts after I do. Tries to recreate experiences we've had. Shows up at school and my house. Similarly aged kids, too. My son just turned 9. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. It's so uncomfortable on top of an already traumatic experience.